Good morning and welcome to the press review after the hour of 9 on Thursday, the 29th of June 2023. And today you are with me, Helbert Katanda, and I'm joined by
Brennan Mwanza.
All right, good morning, Brennan.
Good morning, Helbert.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Well, I'm fine. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sure.
All right, we have the Nation and the Daily Times newspapers, so we are going to assess the happenings pertaining to what the papers have carried. And to begin with the Daily Times newspaper, on the front page there is SCB powers back in focus, and that's of course the headline of the first story which appears on this page. Apparently the story says the saga on whether Anti-Corruption Bureau can prosecute a case without getting consent from the Director of Public Prosecutions resurfaced in a case involving SCB Director General, former SCB Director General Rainek Matemba. Matemba is answering charges of corrupt use of power of Office of Solicitor General at the Economic and Financial Crimes Court in Lilongwe. He is accused of receiving $10,000 US as an advantage for vetting a food rations contract for businessman Zonet Sartar's firm, Javia Limited. Well, this is the case at hand. I remember that was last year. Members of Parliament were also debating on the same issue that the SCB shouldn't be getting the consent from the office of the DPP. And now that issue, there is a case which was passed, the Anti-Corruption Bureau Act, which was passed in Parliament, and it says the SCB can prosecute a person without getting a consent from the DPP. And now this is the case at hand. The former Director General of SCB wants the court, to explain whether it was lawful for the SCB to arrest him or prosecute this case without getting a consent from the DPP. So he asked the court yesterday that did the SCB obtain a consent from the DPP to prosecute the matter. So it's like now
the conflict.
Yeah, there is conflict between the judiciary and also the lawmakers. You know, we have been talking about this for a long time now. That SCB, rather, we have various sectors of government, and these sectors, they work differently. That's why you are seeing that an issue which has been included in the act, which was passed by Parliament, and now it is being challenged in the court by a certain legal expert like Matemba.
Well, I think now looking at him ever working with the ACB, I think he will be the first person as well to appreciate what the law says so far, because that was discussed in Parliament, and I do believe that the President is to assent to it. So I think this is about fighting corruption, and the consent that has been that ACB has been asking or seeking from the DPP. I think it has been delaying other processes of prosecuting cases. Now that they are given the freedom as SCB, and then you see someone now being against, that means he knows what is really behind.
Well, Patri, the story says his case returned to court yesterday for plea taking, at which time Matemba, who is representing himself, told the court that even though he is aware that Section 42 of the Corrupt Practices Act was repealed. That means he admitted that he knows that the act was repealed in Parliament. He still wanted to know if the graft-busting body obtained the consent from the DPP to prosecute the case. That means he's aware.
Yes. So he's aware.
Yeah.
So he was expecting the SB to get the consent.
Yeah. And
yet the section still more says the SB can still go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So that reminds me of a statement which was made by a law expert, Garon Kanchenzera. I hope you know him very well. He said our constitution, various laws work differently and they counterattack one another. So I think this is the case now, that yes, the act was repealed, but then he still want to know that did the SCB get the consent from the DPP to prosecute the matter. So the argument will be by the time the matter was directed to go to the court, the law had not been repealed yet.
Well, I think moving on to the first page of the Nation. Abducted man gets court bail. Nunwe backs soldiers, claims police arrested man. Karonga-based person Lightning Yusuf yesterday walked to freedom after Uliwa First Grade Magistrate Court granted him bail slightly over 4 hours after Malawi Defense Force soldiers smoked him out of his house at 3 a.m. The entrepreneur has been charged with publication of false news likely to cause fear and alarm to the public, contrary to Section 60 of the Penal Code. However, Yusuf, also known as Yusuf Mangoshi, denied the charge and immediately applied for bail. The state, represented by prosecutor Evans Mteguga, did not object to the application. Meanwhile, MDF Commander General Vincent Nunwe has backed the action by soldiers from Chirumba Barracks, saying his troops felt aggrieved by Yusuf's allegations and lodged a complaint with Karonga Police Station to take action.
All right.
I was trying to see where he is being alleged that he has published something that was contrary.
Well, I saw something that was it was on Tuesday. Social media was flooded with a certain video clip of him alleging that soldiers in Karonga have been abusing people, and he was saying, I remember there is a message down in the video. It says order from above. So he was alleging that it was Chakwera who directed the soldiers to be abusing people in Karonga. So in the video he also threatened that if the president will not redirect the members of Malawi Defense Force, he and other people in Karonga, other concerned citizens, will shut down Karonga business places. So that was the video clip, and it was to our surprise that yesterday the Malawi Defense Force soldiers took him
actually
at 4 a.m.
So actually the general, the commander Nunwe is claiming that it's not the police, I mean the soldiers who
arrested the guy.
It's the police who arrested him and sent him to the custody. Yeah,
so we all know what happens when the police officers come at your house at 4 a.m.
And now you see there is
the latest issue would be the one of Joshua Gisabere. He was arrested at 4 a.m. And he said after that he said he doesn't know, even up to now he doesn't know where he went after that arrest.
And you see now the conflict here. The MDF says they did not arrest the guy, but the suspect. But there's rather numerous suspects that police say. Actually, the suspect and the police are saying MDF handed the man to the custody. But the MDF say they are not involved in the arrest.
What's happening now? What's happening? So who should we believe? Because the man is being charged of publishing false news,
likely to
cause havoc and fear. And now it's the MDF soldiers. They are saying that it was the police officers who arrested the guy. While the police say it was the MDF soldiers who arrested the guy. I mean, who should we believe now? Who is publishing false news? All right, it is an issue to do with a lot of things, a lot of organizations, as well as a lot of stakeholders and laws in our constitution. So we just wait and see how the issue is going to flow. But we expect the Malawi Defense Force to come out of its cocoon and speak on the matter,
but then
whether what the police are saying is really true, or we're also expecting the police members of the police service to tell us who arrested the guy.
Yeah, actually, so the CCJP of Karonga here had to comment saying they condemned the manner the MGF arrested Yusuf, but applauded police for taking him to court within the required 48
So that means
now
it's known. It's the Malawi Defense Force. All right, let's end at that. On the second page of the Daily Times newspaper, there are two stories, and one of it being Malawi deports Rwandan business person. Partly the story says Minister of Homeland Security Kenneth Zikarengoma has ordered the deportation of Rwanda national Sylvester Bismana, who is being accused of law violations such as operating illegal business in Malawi. A memo signed by Ngoma, which the Daily Times has seen, refers to the recent seizure by police of containers belonging to Bismana at Ngona Market in Lilongwe.
Alright, Kunkuyu defends Tonse on achievements. That's another story that is appearing in the Nation newspaper.
Alright.
The Minister of Information and Digitalization, Moses Kunkuyu, has defended the Tonse Alliance's 3-year stay power, stating that it has done much to improve the citizens' well-being. He mentioned the Affordable Imports Program, AIP, social gas transfers, youth loans, development of transport infrastructure, and ending electricity blackouts as some of the success.
All right.
That's what they are saying.
Okay. I'm tempted to comment much on the having in mind the recent blackouts, persistent blackouts, having in mind the recent corruption cases, having in mind the AIP flows. All right.
And you see also how the debt levels have escalated after Tonse got into power. You'll see that so far the debt levels, the public debt stands at 7.9. That's as of December just last year. 7.9. And that's 7.9 trillion. With 4.43 trillion as domestic debt and 3.47 trillion as external debt. Well, prior to that period, we had just at least 4-point-something trillion as debt that we had to pay back to others, which means within this very same period, they have managed to increase the level of Ngongole that the country.
So now they are saying those are the achievements which the Minister of Information, Moses Kunkuyu, is pointing out. I don't know if they are just there to impress those those in government departments.
And if he says AIP, how many have benefited through AIP this far?
Imagine.
Just last year, how many managed to buy?
And it was, I was reading a certain article in the Nation newspaper. That was yesterday. It was on the 28th of June when Chakwera was being sworn in as the Malawi president. That was in 2020. And now we're talking about 2023. That means 3 years have passed. I mean, what have we achieved as a country?
I think there are very, very few people who can point to say, I think we have achieved this, we have achieved this. Because if we stand now, like today, if we stand to say, Malawians, just tell us what you see in your area that has come as a new development in your area. Just name any.
Or just if we were to post on our social media page, on our Facebook page rather, that would you please tell us what you've seen during the Chakwera period, without specifying either be it negative or positive. People would still say, as it was a Ajagwera anatsitsa anagwetsa kwacha ajagwera abangalizi. So ndizinto zone zoti I don't know kuti kangalidziwo oti yankhulira amalankhula amakhala akulankhula chifukwa choti chani komanso akuloza zinthu zake ziti chifukwa kunali kungokhala osalankhula kusiyana kuti adane ndi anthu ochuluka chifukwa choti alankhula zina zake zomwe zili zabodza.
Exactly.
Alright, still on the second page of the Daily Times newspaper, Chakwera, China VP discuss mutual relations, and this partly the story says President Lazarus Chakwera yesterday held discussions with China's Vice President Han Chen in Changsha City, Yunnan province, where the two touched on a number of issues bordering on mutual relations. The meeting was held ahead of the third China African Economic and Trade Expo, which has started today, and the province winds up on Sunday. Chakwera and Han touted the diplomatic relations between Malawi and China, which the two countries scaled in 2007 after Malawi severed ties with Taiwan. Well, without saying much, we just say we hope that this will bear fruits, because it's now 1,000 times when the president has told the nation that he is going to a certain country to discuss mutual relations with other countries. Recently, we talked about his visit to Mozambique.
Sorry, just before that Mozambique trip, he was in Ghana. I mean, after Mozambique trip, he was in Ghana. He has been in just issues to do with business.
Are we really getting something out of Chakwera's trips? I mean, he has been visiting several countries. He has been going out, jumping up and down. He rarely stays in Malawi. Are we really benefiting from the president's trips to various countries abroad?
Hearing from the citizens, because we do speak on behalf of Voice. So actually, because we do give them time to speak on their own. Like I think on Tuesday, we were also scrutinizing this trip, the latest trips the president has had, bearing in mind this one to China, that what are we really benefiting as a country? Because like what you have already put straight to say, we have heard they have discussed this, they have discussed this, but what comes here? So the citizens were saying, we are wondering to say the president goes out to discuss or to get something. But if they get money, as a country, we don't benefit. Those who benefit are the very some few people. If we say they have received this kind of donation from such a country, or
and then they squander it.
You see, and we cannot benefit from that as citizens.
Yeah.
So that was the worry. So we don't know if the government officials come here with those money and they do distribute it equally to say, I think this has to go to health, education, because already we know that the budget that is there ndi mmene boma limayika kale kuti izizigwira ntchito zakuti izizigwira ntchito zakuti mwina ndi ntchito zokhazo zimene ngati ma institution apanga promise apanga pledge kuti ife tithandiza skulu yakuti tithandiza skulu yakuti imene mwina tingathe kuziona koma ndalama zimene mabwera kuti zimayenda bwanji ndi zimene anthu akudawa.
I think inappropriate use of fund is the biggest, the major problem in Malawi. All right.
I think we can move on to business. We are remaining with only 6 minutes to.
All right, one business story, one sports story, and one culture.
All right, moving very rushing. MRI employs drones and goods smuggling fight. Malawi Revenue Authority says it has procured drones expected to help combat smuggling of goods through uncharted routes. MRI Director of Information Communications Technology, Max Mlomba, said this on Friday during a graduation of 36 students who underwent a 6-week intensive drone technology and data science course at Malawi University of Science and Technology, MUST. He said Malawi is losing potential revenues through smuggled goods, adding that drones are the best alternatives to deal with the vice.
All right, that's business story in the Nation newspaper, and now let's give you a sports story appearing on the back page of the Daily Times newspaper, special winners, and that's of course the headline. There is a sub-headline which says Team Malawi clinches 9 medals at Special Olympics. Partly the story says Malawi's athletes put up outstanding performances at the Special Performance Olympics World Games in Berlin, Germany, to clinch an impressive 9 medals. The athletes won 5 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals at the global showpiece. Victor Chiguse lifted gold in the men's 100 meters swimming freestyle, while Melissa Papa and Calorini Magro triumphed in the Ball women's double, with Frank Chigolova lifting gold in the women's singles.
Alright, and I think we'll move on to international sports. Unless if you have another local sports story.
And then with the interest of time, we can go straight to international sports stories.
Man City signed Croatian midfielder from Chelsea. That's right there. Manchester City have signed the Croatian midfielder Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea for an initial fee of 25 million euros. The deal for the 29-year-old is also worth a possible 5 million euros in add-ons, and he has signed a 4-year contract.
All right, now on arts and culture, in the Daily Times newspaper, Kim KBG seeks to spark ambition in Malawi creatives, and that's of course the headline. Partly the story says musicians Kim and of Diamonds and KBG, who are among the 2023 Mandela Washington Fellows and currently in United States of America, have said their mission is to drive determination in fellow creatives in the country, as well as empower them to dream big. Kim Ronem Kimberly Kaunda, who is based at University of Texas in Austin, said through her social media page that by strengthening our local music industry, we can effect positive change in the lives of young talents and our nation as a whole.
I think that also marks the end of the program.
Definitely, that also wraps up our today's press review. And
you wanted to say music later.
Well, right after this program, we are going to have Maramai, and then we are going to have news updates. I think my wish will be fulfilled that time.
Sure.
All right, you can get the copies, the Nation newspaper,
1,000 kwacha,
and the Daily Times newspaper can be purchased at 1,200 kwacha. Until next time, my name is Helbert Skaranda, and I wasn't alone. I was with
Brennan Mwanza.